Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. Nope. Welcome to Salt Labyrinth, where we talk about comic books.
He finally fucked it up. I've been waiting.
I'm Hank. With me is Ben.
Hey. Too good. Highlight of the day.
Undone by my own gimmick.
Yeah, man. You read Batgirls. What, volume 1?
2022's Batgirls.
I really liked it.
It's just makes me happy.
The art was insane.
Yeah. Character's very expressive.
Very expressive. The color palette was fucking chef's kiss. The sketchy style was cool as hell. Yeah.
They got that car.
They got Bondo. The car was great. I thought the story was pretty good. It's a little, I mean, it's whiplash from other stuff. Going from like Dragon Ball, like heavy Dragon Ball to this. I'm like, woof. This is different.
Yeah. No. This is pretty, like, bad stuff's happening, but it's pretty light in terms of tone.
Yeah.
I would say.
I'm very glad that I've read all those hobby drama read-ups because I knew the background. Like, I knew what was going on with the Oracle and Babs and all that shit. Had that information on hand. Very useful. Stephanie
Brown and Cassandra Cain's backstories and the way those characters have been treated like shit.
Yeah. Which, like, without that stuff, you kind of... I don't know, because they do mention that there are 3 Batgirls.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, in a void, without this prior knowledge, would I have gotten any inkling as to, like, specifically the stuff with Oracle? Probably not. I don't know that I would have. I think there's nothing that would have drawn me to, like, oh, these are 3 like independent Batgirls who are doing a thing, and like Babs is the former Batgirl and like had the injury and whatever. I don't think there's any way. I would have just assumed like they're the team, and the one that has the limp or needs a wheelchair now and again or whatever, like she's obviously staying in most of the time, which makes sense. But no, very glad to have it. Also, them doing stuff is just delightful. Them hanging out is great. Cass is the is the standout.
Sure.
Like, what are you gonna say?
No, like, just the main appeal of this comic is just these characters like living together and it being fun.
Yeah, man. Dude, Cass's bathrobe is incredible. It's like a unicorn or whatever. Thing with the hood. Shit's great.
It gets stolen from her and so she has to get it back. After specifically saying she didn't get it back.
Yeah, to keep a low profile. Man. I mean, the standout, let's be real, the standout quote from this entire thing is when they're in the bookstore and Cass says reading is fundamental. Like, that's the one.
She had to teach herself how to read. She only knew the language of violence.
Yeah, man.
That's all her father taught her.
At the end, when she's like hugging them, she's making that face, that choked up face or whatever. Oh, I love it. I thought,
it's hard for me to evaluate this comic as it is on its face, just because just the idea that it exists is like just makes me so happy. not even because of like all the shit these characters went through, because like Steph and Cass just weren't in comic books for a while.
Yeah.
It made me sad.
Yeah, totally. There
Like
was
when they rebooted the DC universe to the New 52, like these two just disappeared.
dude, like half of the fucking comic drama is about Universe 52 or whatever. Or the 52 thing. Like, just a mess all around.
It was bad.
Is that also the same
But
point? I guess it probably was. Because I know they had Babs like getting injured, and then a lot of people were kind of unhappy, but they built her up into the Oracle, and then people were happy again because it was a good comeback or whatever. And then they like ruined that. Like they redid it and went to shit. I assume that's one.
where that's get you. Cool. So the story where Barbara Gordon gets like shot and paralyzed is The Killing Joke, which is from 1988, the Alan Moore comic, which is like not supposed to be a canon story as originally conceived, but then becomes canon because it's so fucking popular.
Yeah.
And then so then out of that, Barbara Gordon becomes Oracle as like her new thing. And it just turns out Oracle is a great idea. Like having her be like the coordinator, the like person in all like the street level superheroes ear.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a great idea. Cool. And like, and it like brings all that, it ties that world together and like builds the universe and makes it coherent in terms of like these characters relating to each other.
Yeah.
Like in our Superman things, I was like saying how like for Superman specifically, and a little bit for Batman too, like what I like is like this pure, like very simple idea of these characters that's like not complicated by drama or whatever. But that doesn't, the actual, with the Bat family stuff, I love the interconnectedness of the characters for like the greater like expanded like Batman supporting characters, like all these other characters, like all the Robins, all the street level Gotham superheroes and villains. Like that world is rich and good, and that was the thing that was like there are reasons the New 52 happened, and some of it had to do with bad stories that had salted the earth and the DC universe in general in ways that they needed a reboot. But the biggest loss to me was the Bat books, which weren't bad, which were really still good. All that shit got thrown out. Yeah. That was like baby with the bathwater kind of thing. That whole everything that was there, everything that was built there, disappeared.
Yeah.
And then so now has had to be like brought in or whatever, like reestablished. But
yeah. But it brought us here, I guess.
Yeah. But now it's been long enough that writers who actually cared about those characters as like fans are like old enough to write comics or make decisions or whatever. Like somebody who gives a shit about these characters can make sure they get in comic books again, which is kind of always the cycle with comic books.
I was gonna say there's like so much of that.
Yeah, like so much of like the stuff that happens with like New 52 stuff is the people in charge caring about characters who had like disappeared in the intervening time, but just that's fucking Barry Allen and Hal Jordan or whatever.
Yeah,
and who gives a shit about those characters? I care about Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was just great. I
Yep.
I know it's immature, but because it's like the person's name. But when Bab said she's gonna spend the night with Dick, like,
Uh-huh.
man, times change. Names don't necessarily, but like, come on. Also, the car
They know
plays.
what they're doing.
The car plays All Star all the time.
Yes.
I did
The running joke of All Star was a little much.
Yeah,
honestly.
I was gonna say some of the like fourth wall kind of stuff, like it got to be a little much.
Mm-hmm. I could have done without it.
Yeah. Also, like All Star is an all time classic. So like, what are they talking about? Oh, it's torture. I'm imagining me on the drive home, like singing it at the top of my lungs, like word for word. Like, it's fine. It's the meme song.
It is the meme song.
Ugh.
They play it at the end of Rat Race.
Yep, that's where everybody knows it from.
That was the one that always sticks with me because it's like years later after it's been in Mystery Men and Shrek.
What's the
Just there again, and like the movie ends with the characters showing up at a Smash Mouth concert. It's like, fucking, what is happening?
Is it? Was All Star also in the Digimon movie?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm remembering it there, but I feel like I'm also misremembering it. But they might have had another song in there that I'm like,
They have Kids in America.
that one I definitely remember. I just can't remember if it also had All Star. Who knows?
It's been a while since I watched that movie, so
Been
I
a
could have
hot-
forgotten, but I don't
minute.
think it does.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll watch it again. I'll let you know. I gotta know if it's there. Yeah, no, that was fine. I mean, the car was just such a good thing overall, though. She shows him those fucking mopeds. And then Cass being sad at the end when they try to, like, they do the very, very light bait of like, oh, one of them died. That's like, oh, it's Bondo. Bondo died. Oh, that shit was good. I really liked. I guess I'm not a huge fan of like the fear gas stuff in general, and like kind of maybe just because we were getting like close to zombie territory, and I was like, meh. I really like the idea of like this dude making fucking wild graffiti as part of that. And then like the graffiti was cool, like the colors were popping, very, very contrasting. Like that shit was very good. I thought that was a cool way to tie it in.
Yeah. Yeah, this comic just looks cool.
Dude, even the parts of like there was like too much wall breaking or just wasn't a huge fan. Like it was also very text heavy. Again, coming from Dragon Ball. But like every single page was just so good. Like the art was just unreal. There were so many good shots where they do like I don't even know what to call it, like kind of a particle effect, like with black, a lot of dark or black particle stuff going on, and then like a brighter background. Ugh, This is very good. Spellweaver got his ass kicked like easily. That was nice. That was so good. Where Babs is like, this is my first rodeo. Just fucking donks his head on the table. Like that shit was so good. Like just that, that like she has the experience and all that shit. Oh man, very solid.
Just a joy.
I don't know if I want to like. I don't necessarily want to go to the second volume. I think
Sure.
it's not in that story mood overall. Even though I am still a little curious as to what the seer is or who the seer is,
Mm-hmm.
but not never. I'll get back to it someday.
Sure.
I don't know necessarily where I want to go, I guess. I think I'm still in more like between the two cuz now we've gone from Superman to Superman and Batman to well, not
Yeah.
Batman, but universe. Uh
Mm-hmm.
we've gone from
Bat family.
Metropolis to Gotham in many ways.
Sure.
I think I'm still feeling more of like a Superman kick, I guess. Like glad to do this, but I think going back to like a Superman thing. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what flavor of Superman you're thinking?
Yeah, that's the that's the thing, right? I guess like maybe it doesn't need to be like I want like pure fun like black and white good evil stuff, but I don't want to get into like Superman crying or whatever. Like I don't want to go full off the other side, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
If there's if we could slide in like two things, I wouldn't mind doing like one, I guess for lack of a better word, like normal, like modern comic to fit the bill, and then if there's like a shorter, like just a classic Superman comic, just to get like a little taste, like how we read some old Spider-Man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if any of that, if none of it's worth reading, then obviously not. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything coming off the top of my head that's directly the thing we should do.
yeah,
Based on that, I would say. Because the thing I'm most drawn to now at this point of Superman thing that you should have experienced that I'd want to talk about is like the 90s animated cartoon, probably at this point.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
getting outside of the labyrinth.
Yeah. And because that's just a thing for me with like with Batman and Superman, like those 90s cartoons were just so good that the big exception is like Bat Family stuff for Batman comics I really like, but in general my connection to those characters has more to do to that stuff than
Gotcha.
actual comics, as opposed to with Marvel, where I'm way more tied to the comics.
I mean, I also wouldn't mind going into like,
because like a lot of there's like DC stuff that's just like too deep, like it's too much for us to do on this show.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't mind doing like
There's a story called Trinity that's like a big DC Universe thing that I really love, but that was like a 52 issue story where it ran once a week for a year.
Nice little Salt Labyrinth pickup. No, just skip to the end, like a Dark Metal or whatever. Easy. I wouldn't mind doing some related Superman stuff either. I guess like Power Girl or something. You weren't a fan of Wonder Woman, right? Or like there's just not.
I just don't have I don't have a go-to Wonder Woman comic as a pull. Again, like probably my favorite Wonder Woman stuff is like overall is probably the the Justice League cartoon
Sure.
that spins out of the Batman and Superman stuff. And then there's like there's like one scene from New Frontier that I think is amazing. But I think in the comic that it's like a page. There's like a conversation between like the thing that gets me is like it's a conversation between Superman and Wonder Woman. And the thing that I love about it is that Wonder Woman is so much taller than Superman in that comic.
Hell yeah.
It's really the thing.
That's pretty good. Nice.
The way Darwin Cook draws them in like Silver Age style, she's just like way taller.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's just like a panel,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And then there's a movie that adapted it that I also think is pretty good. But
yeah, this is a bit of a weird one.
yeah, we just hit a spot where the next way to go is unclear.
Yeah. Yeah. Superman family, for lack of a better word. Maybe a Superman knockoff.
Again, my pull for super family stuff is also like a story that ran over multiple titles that lasted a year or whatever of comics. Like it's just too big.
I'm sure there's something perfect out there. I just don't know enough to know what I don't know. Yeah. It would also help if I could be like more specific, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Can we get training? Can we do it? Is there any training montages? Does someone get a power up?
Like in comics, period. Yes. In Superman, I don't think so.
I don't know that I've read any or seen any like straight up like training to get a new thing from comics. Maybe that's the thing to do, cuz like I've seen like the only things I could think of are like someone gets a power up, but it's literally like Tony Stark doing a new suit or whatever the hell. Like he's not training, he's just building a better thing. Yeah. I guess it wasn't training, but in the Superman smashes the Klan, like he uses his abilities. He like gets past that hurdle, but that's slightly different, but also very, very good.
Mm-hmm. He does unlock his true power in a way. He breaks through his limits.
Maybe that's what
he hears the voice. It's just like Goku. He hears the voice of his father.
Yeah. Is there like I'm just thinking of like a broader, less honed in on like Superman or Batman or whatever, and just a broader concept of things. Is there like either like a man versus self or man versus nature? Like a good heavy focus on those things that's not super long. Because that's one of those things that I've been kind of craving in general that I feel like I don't encounter enough of, is like we always need a bad guy, and I want the bad guy to not exist and instead be like forces of nature that must be dealt with. Like I don't know. The most base one I could think of is like a survival story, but doesn't have to fully be that. Or a character like dealing with like it's their own shit holding them back instead of, a baddie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first thing that hits my brain when you say that is the story Batman Cataclysm, where there's a big earthquake in Gotham.
I mean, that sounds pretty solid.
And it was the thing that set off that then out of that came No Man's Land, which is a big story that like all the recent movies obliquely reference in different ways.
What's No Man's Land? Briefly, is it like the stuff from like Harley Quinn, kind of like that sort of concept? Oh, you haven't seen Harley Quinn?
Maybe I haven't watched.
You haven't watched
I've
Harley
only
Quinn?
read the.
Yeah,
I've only
yeah,
read
yeah.
the first issues of the tie-in comic.
Yeah, I know. I forgot.
Where Gotham gets like, abandoned by the outside world. Basically, it becomes like a post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah,
basically.
that's more or less it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it becomes like broken up. It's all about like factions that claim different parts of the city and
Yeah. Okay.
stuff.
So that's pretty much Harley Quinn, except it's not an earthquake in that show. But I'd be down, I suppose. Yeah, very very nebulous one.
That's an option. Batman Cataclysm.
Yeah.
But we'll talk. I'll see if I can think of anything else, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can be more specific.
Yeah.
Give me you know what I want to read? A good comic. Can you hook me up?
Yeah, there are lots of good comics. Those exist.
That's how we ended up reading Calvin and Hobbes. I wasn't specific enough. I mean, yeah, the thing is, like, I trust you not to pick garbage, because that's not what we're about here. So, I don't think I can lose.
I'm not going to have you read Countdown to Final Crisis.
What's that?
A terrible comic.
Great. Oh, maybe we could read one of those super fun comics where Starfire gets like hella sexualized, like super sexualized to an uncomfortable point. Can't think of a better
That's
way
another one where it's just the Teen Titans cartoon is just fucking better than like any comic ever written with Starfire.
I've seen it. I've read a couple of write-ups, and that's certainly how it seems like nobody's found a way to do her without like wanting her to do everybody. Like, people just keep being real horny about it, even when they're not being as bad as the last guy. I don't know. That's some, like... Also, from what I was reading, like, there's a lot of garbage excuses. It's like, what's her name in Metal Gear? It's like, oh, why did she dress like that? It's like, oh, her skin is photosynthetic or whatever. It's like she needs sun on her skin. Like, okay.
As opposed to when Yoko Taro was asked, why is 2B dressed like that? He's like, because I think it's hot.
Yeah, dude, at least just like fucking be real about it. Ridiculous. I actually saw a pretty good thing recently where someone had submitted a question to like the creator of One Piece, and they're like, please don't judge me for this, but I do want to ask seriously, but please don't judge me. Like, why are there no upskirts in the show? Like, you have these big chested women, but there's no like panty shots. What gives? And the dude is literally like, it was such a good response. He's talking about how he wants the sexuality, like, obviously he's still like creating it and shit, but he wants it to be like on the part of the character. Like, they're wearing a low-cut top to show off their tits. He doesn't want the camera, like, looking up their skirt, which is not them, like, doing it intentionally, you know? Like, that idea of, like, character agency and shit. I'm like, that's such a good, unexpectedly good answer to such a stupid fucking question.
Yeah.
His response was more nuanced and shit, but like that was the gist.
Yeah. All I can think of though is just like that I know for like shonen comics, like editors will push creators literally to do those.
Well, yeah,
to do that kind of thing.
Gotta sell shit. There's even like a term because like Nagatoro they don't do that shit because like they don't do that shit at least, but like the first couple of episodes or issues of the manga were like real suggestive and heavy on like the teasing the kids sexually, but then after that they back the fuck off.
That's also pretty common.
I just had never
like a lot of the worst stuff will be on that front will be in like the first couple of volumes.
Shout out to
chapters.
Shout out to Monogatari, where like I'm asking if there's fan service and shit, and like is there a bunch of that shit that was in like my really hated anime phase too, or like was just getting out of that barely. Fucking friend is like, oh no, there's nothing. Like there's not nothing, but like it's fine. There's not a lot of it. Literally the first shot of the entire fucking show is like a 30-second detailed upskirt shot. I'm like, you motherfucker. He's like, I forgot about it, I swear. Fine. But shit happens.
Yeah. Whereas in Western comics, the move is a female character showing off her ass and her tits simultaneously. That's the move.
Hell yeah.
Bend that spine.
Dude, some of those fucking poses just brutal. She needs help. Get a doctor. Yeah. I mean, was that like the other week? It wasn't for this comic, or at least I had the thought before starting this comic. But either going in either direction of like, and I understand that perhaps some of the writing quality or overall like quality of the comic might have to be sacrificed, but going for max cheesecake or max beefcake. And that was partially I know what got me thinking on it. I can't remember the dude's name, but someone was talking about this artist that like for the life of him like just can't fucking draw people. He drew the thing of Captain America where Captain America is like 8 feet wide and just like buff is all hell. I can't think of the guy's name. Let me see if I can track it.
Why am I blanking?
I'll just type in Captain America hella wide muscle. This is gonna get it. It's gonna get okay. Well, that's on. No, it's the first result. I did it. Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. Do you know the Captain America shot I'm talking about?
Because that's the Heroes Reborn. Like that's after the Onslaught. When they reboot, that's when that happens.
Like. That fucking Captain America shot was like, it's fucking incredible. It's just so good. He's standing straight, but his chest is fucking tilted.
Yeah. The first issue of Captain America that I bought.
That's great.
I think that might not be from number 1. I don't remember.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, like seeing after
I know it's an early issue, but I don't remember if it's issue 1 or like 2.
After seeing that, I was like, I just got like either just the highest.
The big thing is he can't draw. He doesn't draw feet.
Yeah, no, because I remember
his feet are either like it's like a hexadecimal. It's like a hex. Like there are like 4 lines to it, or he's just like will put people in poses where he doesn't have to draw the feet.
Yeah. But no,
but again, he was one of the most hottest artists of the 90s.
So yeah, no, that's what
very successful, and
that's what the
could not draw feet
was talking about.
Yeah.
Like his shit was so good, but also his art was kind of janky at the best of times, even. Specifically, it was the write up was talking about like some fucking weird fan or something. Like this whole incident. I got people like divided as to whether he's actually good or whatever. I don't fucking know. But seeing his stuff, I'm like, what if there was just, I want high density cake, no matter what kind. Just want to see, I want to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah, those Captain America comics are not great. The Captain America comics that came before and after that run are better.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure something out.
A beefcake, cheesecake, man versus nature, man versus self. Good comic that's lighthearted and fun. Easy. Just do it. Just find the comic. It's so simple.
Man versus nature, but fun.
Yeah, like a Gary Paulson novel.
I don't know who that is.
Oh. He wrote a lot of survival. He wrote Hatchet. You know Hatchet?
Nope.
That schooling difference. That was like a... it wasn't required reading. It was a choice between a couple of novels in school. He also did, I think, a couple of stories. He did the Iditarod, like the dog sled race. Like, you would participate in that shit. And wrote a couple of stories about it.
Did he write Balto?
No, he did not write Balto. That was not on the list. I forget what his Iditarod story is called. The one that got me was, it was like an offshoot because he's doing all these things that are like realistic or, realistic with protagonist that's intelligent enough to figure shit out. But he did one called Transall Saga, and it's about like this guy, I guess kid, but like upper teens or something like that, maybe. And he's like hiking in Death Valley, I believe. He's like going around, he's doing his thing, like getting off the grid for a week or two or whatever it is. And he like sees this blue light, and then the blue light like strikes in front of him, and then it strikes on him, and suddenly he's in like an alien jungle. It's like a survival thing, but on like a different planet and shit. And I'm like, that was good. I read that book a lot as a kid. So they're good. They're not like grim, Just a dude hanging out. Sounded fun. Sounded easy, except I know it's not.
That's what your takeaway was? That sounds easy.
It sounds easy. It's probably not, but, like when the person knows what they're doing. I think more than anything, it's just, the part of me that wants to live in the trees and not be a part of society anymore. What if I didn't have to go to school and have a job and shit? But yeah. Could Superman survive in the fucking woods? Doubt it.
Oh, see that Superman survival story. There's an episode of Justice League that's fucking perfect. It's so good.
That's funny as hell. We gotta watch that shit. Because you mentioned like those
he grows a beard.
I mean, naturally. That's what I was imagining. You didn't have to, yeah. Obviously.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, we gotta chuck.
Yeah, the problem is it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of good stuff, but
yeah. Oh, we'll get to it.
I feel like the move is to not do all of it though, because like some of it's easily skippable, but some of it's great.
You just do for the skippable stuff. You just play Pokemon while you're watching it, or you play Dragon Ball Fusions.
True.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's just like the Batman cartoon is extremely episodic, and then story stuff starts to come into it with the Superman series.
Gotcha.
And then Justice League is like, it starts as literally all like two-parters that are like an hour each.
Oh God.
I think the whole first season is that, or like, and then there's like a 3-parter at the end.
Nice. I mean, I'm down to do it.
Yeah.
I do like 90s.
Yeah, we finished Dragon Ball. We got what was our oyster?
What are you talking about? Some of us finished Dragon Ball. Others of us are buckling up to do Z and GT.
True.
Potentially. I talk big, but we'll fucking see.
You definitely talk big.
I'm talking very big about that endeavor. And yet here I am not continuing my watch through of original Dragon
You
Ball.
can't even watch original Dragon
Fuck
Ball. You
off,
think you're
man.
going to watch GT
My
or Z?
computer died. I had it downloaded. I had such big...
You think that would stop Goku?
A little bit. He doesn't know how to use a computer. You think that man knows
Think
how
if
to...
his computer broke and it was stopping him from eating, he wouldn't find a way?
I mean, he has fucking Bulma. That's cheating. If I had Bulma, I also
That's
would have
true.
my shit fine already. It's
true.
easy.
She's better than the Dragon Balls in many cases.
Oh my God. The real wish granter.
Oh, that bit was so good.
Hey, teen, I'll pay you this. How much was it? Like $1 million or 10 million or whatever. I'll pay you 10 million zenny to get this guy to fuck off. Done. Oh, too good. Yeah. Yeah. For comics, I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Maybe I'll talk you into doing a Marvel thing.
I'm also
Instead of a
like
DC thing.
I'm not opposed to a Marvel thing, especially for like those broader concepts. Like, meh, down for it. Is there any Marvel specific things I've been feeling though? That's not really. Aside from my like constant love of the Hulk, there's not anything like I'm not feeling like going deep on Iron Man or something. I'd say I'm a little, not that I'm not into Spider-Man, but like we've done a lot of Spider-Man shit, so I guess I wouldn't want to stray into that stuff too
Okay.
much. I think. Though we never did, what was it, Spider-Man and Mary Jane? Or Mary Jane Loves Spider-Man? Did we do that ever?
It's called Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, even though it's Mary Jane is the main character.
Yeah. I don't think, we didn't do that, right? We just, it's been on
Nope.
the list forever.
Uh-huh.
I could do that. that's the
We can do that.
Spider-Man thing I could do. Because that does fit into, like, I like a little bit of relationship stuff. I've been reading romance novels lately.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
comic's just delightful.
I could go for that. Yeah, we could do that. What a weird way to come to that conclusion, but a lot of talking around to get there. But yeah, we could do
the
that.
question is, do you want to just do the full run or read like half of it?
How long is it?
It's like 2 hardcovers. It's like 2. So I don't know. I don't remember how many issues that is.
Yeah, we can do that. I think we can just do the whole thing.
Because it's like 2 4-issue miniseries and then an ongoing that doesn't last very long.
We could do the whole thing. I'm certainly not just saying that because like we have a bit of a backlog and could like take more of the time than we.
Yeah,
like,
we don't
take
necessarily
extra
have to
time
do it all
finish
in one week.
Pull back the curtain on that a little. Like we got
Okay.
time.
So it's like 28 comics.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
We'll do that.
Hell yeah.
That's good and has been a thing on the to-do list for a long time.
Hell yeah, dude. That 2 birds.
All right. SaltCirclePod@gmail.com. SaltCirclePod on Twitter. Wherever fine podcasts are hosted in audio format. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not. Batgirls was good. Highly recommend to check it out at least. If nothing else.
Batgirls filled a hole in my heart.